Hello, everybody, and welcome to Figure Study, where we appreciate the form in Transformers. And today, looking at something a little bit different, something that doesn't turn into a car or a plane or a helicopter or a spaceship or anything like that. I am looking at Transformers Prime Ripclaw. Well, Transformers Prime Beast Hunters, Ripclaw, whatever. But yeah, Ripclaw is. She is very cool. She is a figure that I kind of had my eye out for a while. She's this interesting looking dragon thing. And yeah, I dig the design. It's very typical beast former style where it's just robot stands up, but they did a lot of interesting things that kind of mess around with her proportions a bit in beast mode that I think work really, really well. So, detail wise, there's some nice details, just molded details in the hands and arms and legs. I mean, a lot of this stuff is going to be visible in robot mode because that's just the nature of the beast, honestly. No pun intended. I do like the tail, the curled up tail. The wings are nice. It's a shame, I think, that the best parts, like it seems like there's a little bit more interesting detail on the backs of the wings as opposed to the undersides. Well, actually, no. I guess for the most part, they're kind of the same. I guess, okay, never mind, ignore me. Yeah, I mean, overall, the molded detail is nice. I like the plating here on the neck, and you can kind of see evidence of that in the arms. Just gives her kind of like an armor-plated dragon kind of look. Now, what I think is actually very cool about this figure is the fact that they swirled in this like other color plastic, like this yellowish color, into the colors for her figure. So you've got these interesting patterns and swirls all throughout that are completely unique to each figure because this is not something that they painted. It's just like randomly applied. And I think that's actually pretty cool. Just the idea that you've got this character with a paint scheme that's never completely the same from figure to figure. And she does have the, if you disconnect this part, you can actually pull out the tail segments a little bit and give her a bit more of a, get this completely out of the way so we can really pull these segments back. So you can get her a looser tail so that it doesn't have to be curled over her head like a scorpion tail, which is also nice. I think it's cool that she has that display option. But yeah, overall, I really like I like the color of this figure. And I really like the fact that you've got these like swirls throughout that are just unique to each one. And I really like the actual color balance that they have going here with the reds and the slightly gold and the bright yellow and the turquoise, darker turquoise. It's a good balance. And I think the way it's distributed is really nice too. Like you've got the claws nice and uniform with the color, and then you've got like the sort of scaly details. It's cool. It's like the elements of this beast mode that you would think would be sort of like scaly have this turquoise color. The elements that you think might be a little bit not scaly or possibly leathery, if this was an organic creature and not a robot, have this red color. It's a very nice use of color overall, and I definitely dig it. And yeah, she looks really good. Now let's go look at robot mode. Ripclaw's robot mode is something that it's really impressive to me, not just aesthetically. I really, really like how there are just so many little shifts to her beast form that just change her proportions oddly kind of dramatically, like the way that the panels of her legs shift back and give her more of like an actual humanoid type leg, the way that her shoulders shift up to give her more natural looking shoulders, the way that her torso shifts down to again give her more of a normal proportion. It's very cool how it all does that. And I am I'm actually a big fan of her robot mode in general. I think it looks very, very cool. I still have the loose tail. You can, of course, pull this back in and make the tail all curled again, but I'm going to leave it loose for now. So, almost all of the same stuff that you see in beast mode is in robot mode. It still has the same color scheme and all that. She does have a very interesting head sculpt, which kind of calls back to the, it calls back to the original, like the beast mode head a little bit, like more if it was like squished in and stuff, but still definitely looks beastly. And even though it gets in the way of the articulation a bit, I actually really kind of like this high collar that hides her neck. It makes her look incredibly well armored, I think. Looks good. And I, of course, really like the giant shoulder pads that she has. Gives her almost like a vaguely samurai armor kind of look. At least not pushed down all the way. Yeah, okay, I didn't have them down quite as far as they could go. So yeah, I really dig the giant shoulder pads too. And of course, you still have all these other details. You get a little bit extra, almost looking like she has 4 wings back here, just because this midsection that was covering the gap in her torso is now split open. But yeah, she looks really cool. And the head on her back is kind of blends in fairly nicely when you've got the wings pulled back a little bit. You can, of course, flare them out a little bit more. Yeah, she is cool looking. And the giant claw thing that was at the end of her tail can actually be used as a weapon. And I generally prefer to not have the giant claw thing on her tail because I feel like it, when she's in robot mode, because I feel like it helps to differentiate her from her beast mode even more. And I think just having the regular tail in the back works a lot better in robot mode. But yeah, Ripclaw is a very neat design. The color distribution is a little bit different in robot mode now that her shoulders and elbows are covered up a lot by these giant plates. There's a little bit more turquoise around the outside, but then you've got these nice little splashes of red and gray and gold kind of in the middle for the knees and feet. So it's like an interesting redistribution of color, as well as the way that her proportions are kind of shifted around. It makes for an interesting shift in her appearance, and I really, really dig that. And of course, as I've said, I really, really like her overall design. Not too fond of the fact that you can't really move her head that much, but what are you going to do? She is very cool. The tail gets a little bit in the way, but it works as a really good support. Like, she's not going to fall over anytime soon, and when you have it disengaged like this, you can do some slightly interesting things when you're displaying, like just kind of have it curled around a little bit, if you've got other bots behind her at least. Usually it likes to spring back just because there's that really tight bit of rubber in there. But yeah, Ripclaw is a cool figure. And I'm very glad I was able to find her because I never really got into the Beast Hunters figures at all. And then I saw that she existed and was just like, yeah. So anyway, that has been my look at the Transformers Prime Beast Hunters Ripclaw. And she is very cool. If you find her, I'd say, definitely pick her up. She's one of a very sadly few women in the toy lines, and also even fewer of the ones that aren't terrible, like Arachnid. Ugh. Never going to own that one. Never going to do a video on it. Just no. But anyway, thank you everybody for watching. As per usual, feel free to like, comment, subscribe. Any combination of those 3 would be fantastic. And remember, as always, art is more than meets the eye.